What's poppin' classy crew? It's your boy Mr. Panda back with another video. Today we have a controversial one. Walmart pulling violent video games from shelves. Oh, my bad, from display cases, but still selling guns over the counter. This is crazy. Before I get into the details of this article, first I want to say rest in peace to everyone who passed during the El Paso shooting. All the families affected is a very horrible tragedy that happened, and it's horrible, man. But back to the video. Basically, Walmart is pulling all violent games from shelves and display cases. Sorry, not shelves, just display cases and advertising in the store following the El Paso shooting. Workers were giving memos actually instructing them to do it. In fact, a fellow employer did post this on Twitter. Employees were giving this memo basically stating that they are to pull all advertising from the shelves that have violent video games attached to them. This includes hunting videos. Even on the TVs in the store will no longer play any violent movies and or any hunting or anything. Now, this is where the problem is. Walmart pulling their video games that are violent after a tragic shooting is understandable, but you're still selling guns in your store. The thing that actually is the root of the problem. You're selling guns in the store which was used to cause this tragic shooting. On another news, politics are actually blaming video games for the problem. Politics are saying that, again, this is not the first time, they're saying that video games are the reason why people like this do tragic things like shoot up certain places. This is completely wrong. You can't blame violent video games for tragic things to happen. That's not the video game's fault. These games have ratings. The people that play these games have a brain. Now, yet let's not forget that there's a such thing as crazy people, psychotic people that sadly exist, and they do psychotic stuff, and tragic things happen. But it's not the video game's fault. That literally makes no sense. It's like saying, okay, I can't watch any violent movies because that might make me feel like I'm going to do something violent in real life. We're not all five. These games that are violent are rated mature for a reason. And parents who give their child this game either trust them with it or are just misinformed themselves. This shooting happened, it was a tragedy, and all in all we have to make sure that things like this don't happen in the future. But crazy people exist. Video games is not the problem. You can't just pull violent video games and expect for problems to stop. People are weird. People are crazy. People are messed up in the head. Video games are for entertainment, to entertain you. I've been playing violent video games all my life since I was about 5 years old. Not once have I thought, okay, I'm gonna go do this violent act to a group of people because I saw it in a video game. Like, people know the difference between real world and not being real world. And I expect someone who's young not to understand. I expect someone who's young not to play the same games that I'm playing right now. Why? Because I am older. I'm older than they are. And parents still let their kids play these violent games. And then when their kids act out or lash out, they blame it on the game. Actually, it's the parents' fault. Blame it on your parenting. Parents need to learn how to parent. Don't just toss your kid all these things, phone, social media, all all these gadgets and don't know what they're doing on it. You don't know what kids know a lot more than these adults do when it comes to this internet stuff. Kids know how to get places without you even knowing. They know how to delete their history. They know all that. My parents still don't know how to check someone's history. I was hiding shit. I was hiding stuff all through my childhood. Thing is, parents have to be more aware of what their child is doing, and politics need to stop blaming video games for the world's problems. That's the dumbest argument. Violent video games don't promote violent behavior. Violent video games are for entertainment. Video games in general is for entertainment. When I was playing Mario when I was little, did I say, "Oh, I want to be a plumber"? No, that makes no sense. Video games don't influence you in any real way. It's just there to pass time. Video games can be addicting, but at the same time, no one's playing a video game saying I'm gonna do exactly what I see in this video game. Why? Because it's a video game. They understand it's a video game. Most people understand what they're playing is not to be replicated in real life. They're not supposed to do it. It's just common sense. And if you can't understand that, that's why they have rating systems. If you're too immature to play a mature game and have some common sense, then play a game that's not rated M. Play a game for little kids, because obviously you have a little kid of a brain. Look, man, it's just annoying because I like playing video games, and like people who are misinformed, like most of politics are misinformed about what video games even are. They've never picked up a controller a day in their life. They just assume. Can I not watch any movies now because they all have guns? Am I gonna say, oh, one day I'm gonna be John Wick and just murk everyone that I see? Like there's no double standard. Like you're not like paying the argument to entertainment outside of video games. Like what about movies? What about TV shows? What about the Punisher? Am I gonna be some kind of vigilante and shoot everyone that gets in my way? Because if that's the case, then pull everything. Let's all just watch PBS Kids for the rest of our lives. This is the dumbest argument. Video games are not the root of the problem. Every time there's a mass shooting, then one of the top arguments is that maybe they were playing violent video games. No, maybe they were just a lunatic. Maybe they have issues at home. That's no excuse for what they're doing. But at the same time, video games is not the right way to go about a problem. Video games are not the problem. Video games will never be the problem. The problem is just as it states. The people are crazy. The people who do this stuff are lunatics. They're crazy. They need to be in a mental hospital. If you know someone who is like that, who is kind of sus, when I was back in high school, I've reported a few kids for saying questionable things and doing questionable stuff that could lead to a disaster happening. It's better to report it than it to happen and you to think, oh, if I reported that, I could have saved all these kids' lives who now lost their future. If you have if there's someone that you know, who is, if you're in your school, if you're in a mall, be more aware. If you see someone, if you're at a pool party and a guy walks in a wool jacket and some Timbs, question him. He's not there to swim. He's not there to swim. He's there to do something else. If you're at the mall and it's June 23rd outside and it's 9 degrees and someone's wearing a wool jacket and freaking moccasins, question him or question whoever they are. Have some awareness. If you're aware, then things like this won't happen. I'm not saying it won't happen. It's a lesser chance of things like this even happening. It decreases the percent by so much if you just question more aware of your surroundings. I'm aware of my surroundings all the time. I know who's around me, and if someone's sketchy around me, as I said, I've reported people at my school. I've went to the office for people who I thought were sketchy, who I thought were gonna do something crazy. Why? Because I'm aware. I'm not afraid to go and tell someone if there's a potential chance they could do something really stupid. And the last thing you want to do is regret all your life thinking that maybe I could have stopped this from happening if I just said something. But I was too scared of being bullied. I was too scared of getting caught, quotations, tattling. You tattling on someone about doing something very traumatic is not tattling. It's just you being a human. People get scared. People don't know what to do. Just go with your gut, man. If you feel like someone's doing something crazy, don't have an issue going and either confronting them or going to someone of higher power to get that under control. But the one thing you're not going to do is blame video games like they're the reason why these shootings and these things happen, because that's not the case. That's stupid. All in all, be more aware, guys. Be safe out there. Again, rest in peace to everyone who has passed in the El Paso shooting, all the families affected. It's a very traumatic event, and it's at this point, it's just getting really bad, really bad. I'll catch you guys next time on a more high pitch kind of day. Have a great time, Classic Crew. Peace out.